At the Giro d'Italia stage 20, getting ready for an interview with Junior from Brazil, lives in Berlin. Let's do this.
Let's do it. And then of course I start to follow you and I really like the way you do it. The product, the final product is really nice, very interesting. I never seen before, so it's really nice. And when you start this, when you start in cycling?
Yeah, a long time ago. Back I was running my own website, making my own website, creating the own web pages in 2005. It was my first Tour de France was 2006.
Oh.
And then I started working for Cycling News, and now it's Cycling Weekly and Velo News. And yeah, I got the YouTube channel, all the Instagram content's going up, and the main thing now is Flow Bikes in the USA. They're an official broadcaster. There we are right there.
Very nice. And you are from USA, right?
I am, yeah.
But you live in USA or live in Europe?
I live in Europe from 14, almost 15 years. I live in Florence, Italy. Parlo bene Italiano. And it's been a long time since I've been back to the U.S., at least to live. I go back every couple of years to visit my family, of course, yeah.
Very nice. And I could see that you like, maybe like me, like a one-man show, right? You have to film it, everything.
It's tough, because you go up to the riders, and as Junior knows, you have to have your camera on, you have to have your recorder on, mics plugged in, batteries charged, and ready to ask questions right when the moment arrives. And kind of like the big thing in the last few days is with Flow Bikes is having the big cameraman and having that all set up. All you have to do is think about the questions, and that's gold.
Yeah.
That makes our job a lot easier.
You went to the Volta de Colombia, no?
No, I've been to Volta San Juan, Volta San Luis in Argentina, and where there was a selection from Brazil, some Brazilian riders there, and but never to the Colombia race, the new one. That looks really exciting. Love to go to that.
Because it's crazy that the Colombia was talking with factories.
But the Colombians are crazy, and you see them in the scrum every day at the finish over Esteban Chavez, over Miguel Angel Lopez, they're in there. And even our Ecuadorian rider.
Why do you think we have so many Colombians riding and we almost don't have Brazilian riders?
Well, I think part of that's success builds success is what they say. And you had the 1980s with Para and these guys racing in the Tour de France and Café Colombia. And so the huge success that they had then, and then there was a slump afterwards. But there's always kind of been that following in Colombia for bicycling. And then the Italian team Colombia, back in the day, Colombia Coalports, they helped guys like Esteban Chavez and a lot of those guys come over from Colombia, base themselves in Italy, and get going into pro teams. And now all the pro teams, they have an eye on Colombia, and they're helping pull those riders over. So maybe that's the case because they have a longer history in professional sports. So the younger kids, they see the professionals race, where right now the young Brazilians don't have professional Brazilians racing. So it's harder to make that step to get the Brazilians over. And the United States is in kind of a sort of strange slump right now too, where we don't have so many Americans racing, especially at the top level. So it's kind of always difficult for the U.S. to get the riders over as well.
And you know so many riders. Do you have one of you that you took your attention, or you have a favorite rider?
Well, the guy who won, who finished second, Esteban Chavez, because he's just always there with a smile. He's always friendly. Any of the riders that are there and available to speak and are welcoming to help us do our job, those are the guys I love. The guys that shut you down all the time or don't want to speak before a race or after a race, they're too busy. It just makes life miserable. But if you get a guy who's smiling, a guy who's ready to promote himself, because that's what we're promoting the guys, we're promoting the teams. And so if I was a professional cyclist, I'd be embracing it, putting all that stuff out on Instagram, riding on a pink bike, playing the music like Peter Sagan does when he comes off the bus. That's what cycling loves, that's what cycling needs. Damar riding the purple bike up the first day as the Ciclismo jersey. So I applaud all those cyclists that are day after day, media friendly, ready to talk. And Pascal Ankerman, now in the Ciclismo jersey, is another guy, just really lively and talkative.
Nice that you said about Peter Sagan. What importance of Peter Sagan in the cycling?
He doesn't have a lot to say, but it's his presentation. Doing things that we don't see very often in this traditional sport. Riding wheelies, doing that Greece video with his ex-wife. Some of the different mix into cycling that we need, and playing the music, when he comes off the bus, and really soaking it up too. Go out there and sign autographs with the fans. He'll do that, and he'll just
charisma.
Yeah, it's the charisma. It's what we need, and that's a lot of the guys are afraid to do that in like a traditionally conservative sport. Like even Demar showing up on a purple bike on the first days in the Ciclismo jersey, or Carapaz riding on a pink bike. Everybody's like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" Well, why not? Just live it up.
Why so serious?
Yeah, exactly. As Peter Sagan would say, why so serious?
Yeah. And what do you think that needed to transform the sport in a bigger one? Maybe.
I think perhaps more in-depth video coverage, like on bike cameras, better statistics during the race, being able to identify the riders more. And then having those riders like the Peter Sagan that are connecting with the younger generation. They're in with social media. They offer the quick sound bites, which Peter Sagan does. These quick lines that make the internet spin when they say something funny. So you need riders that kind of adapt to that, and you also need the technology of cameras in the race, better identification of the riders. You need that too.
Yeah. Who do you think you're gonna win the Giro this year?
Oh, at this point, I mean, looks like Carapaz is in there to win it, because the way Movistar is riding, it's going to be hard for them to break Carapaz. And right now we're on the Passo Magnan, and they're racing up that. Vincenzo Nibali will have to try to fare saltare la banca, saltare la banco, to overthrow everything and help those guys win. He's going to have to try to do it now, otherwise his time's running out. We're going to see Ecuador's first Grand Tour winner.
Yeah. And do you have a team on Velo games?
I do not. I do not. I do not play. I don't play many games. The only thing I do is go home. I turn on my Instagram, turn on Twitter, just do these things. I ride my bike. I don't watch television. I don't watch the bike races when I'm not at the race, to be honest. So no.
This is a funny question.
But I do like to get into the betting. And in 2011, I must say, I won the Giro overall for the journalist betting pool. Stood on the podium in front of the Piazza del Duomo, in the head of the Duomo in Milan, and got the flowers and the kisses from the missus.
Very nice. Funny question. Where do you buy your clothes?
Where do I buy my clothes? That's secret. That's the secret, Junior, of course. Because the last thing I need is all the viewers to be looking like I look, and they don't want that anyway.
Like I said, it's my first experience in cycling. Actually, I'm not a journalist. I'm a designer from Brazil. I'm kind of fan, and happened this opportunity here. What do you think I need to do to really enter into this world?
Yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, because I was in the same shoes 13 years ago, and time goes by so quickly, and just soaking up all the atmosphere and getting to know the people helps out quite a bit.
Yeah, very nice. Well, the lesson, very well. It's not an important question actually, but you think the Lance wants the seven tours or not?
No. Neither did Basso, neither did Ulrich. Take him away, ban him for life. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Thanks so much, Gregor.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm a fan of you, man.